So first, let's have a word from our sponsor. Not really our sponsor, Mr. Mountain Dew. Get in the focus mindset here. Pop top, my friends. I already said get in the focus mindset, so I can't then say open focus. But you know how it goes. And I can't treadmill and talk at the same time very well, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we're just going to, treadmill plus caffeine, but I got my shorts on now. Anyway, hello, welcome. How's it going? Hey, Fong, is that how I say it, Fong? So let me re-explain what I was working on, because the whole time I was explaining it earlier, the mic was off because I rearranged the desk and the cables earlier because I was getting my standing desk working again because I hadn't, long story short, cables were messed up, everything in all the settings was wrong. There's probably a few things I'm going to have to go back and adjust. But anyway, if you have a require, you want to avoid circular dependencies because generally it's a code smell. If you got circular dependencies, your logic's probably wrong. But when you're developing something quickly, and sometimes even when you're not, but you realize you need something from one place, it's in another place, like, I'm just going to require it anyway. And you end up with a circular dependency, and that can break things. Because depending on what order, or you might have had a circular dependency that you didn't realize you had, that wasn't broken, but then when you change the order that you required things in, now it does break. And so one of the things that I'm doing with this code base is I'm going through and I'm getting rid of all of the destructured requires, which I hate because they stutter. Check this out. This is the email package. Send template email. Send email with attachments. Send email da-da-da-da-da. It stutters, right? Because it's the email package. It should just be email.send. Email.send template. Email.send with attachments. But people get started doing these things, and then you start naming things weird to compensate for it. Anyway, but the other problem with the structuring that I was getting into is that if you have circular dependencies, then whatever's been destructured can't work. And the reason that it can't work is because you tried to define it at the time it was required, when the way that NPM works is that if there's a circular dependency, it says, okay, this is not a problem. I'm just going to give you the exports object, and both modules are going to continue to populate everything. And then when they're done, they both have the exports object, and it will have whatever functions were put on both of them. If you try to destructure something, then it's going to get an exports object that doesn't have anything yet, and it's going to try to pull something from it. And so we've got a bunch of warnings about this over time. And so this is just one of the categorical things that I'm going through and fixing. And right now, all I need to do is just kind of take a look over this one last time and make sure that everything looks good for this PR. And then I'm going to have it reviewed, and we'll take things from there. Also, I need to check on some, let's see. Let's see. Invalid client ID or secret. Okay, so I got some work stuff that's popping up right now. Okay, can push the data. Okay. Okay, let me deal with. Dang it! Now I've got multiple things to deal with. Let me see about that. I'm going to say give me about an hour. Okay. All right, because I want to get this finished and reviewed, and then some other things are coming in. I'm going to say, let's see. Invalid API keys for something or other. Okay. Okay, so there's some things that aren't working that haven't been working. I'm just going to say hold off for a bit. because I've almost got this thing finished, and then I can move on to the next thing. I don't like having too many things going at the same time. So if we can just hold off on pushing new features for a little bit. And there's one thing that I want to get some fixes through before we hot add new features. So yeah, there's that. Okay, where did my chat go? Okay, there it is. Hello, everybody. Or rather, hello. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to, first I'm just going to do get fetch because there's probably a whole bunch of stuff that I'm missing here. And then let's do a get checkout of this. All right, and then, so this branch here is the same as the pull request. And what I wanted to do was basically just, let's go back all the way to here. I'm undoing those commits, and I just want to go through these one by one real quick, or real quick being a relative term, and just make sure that everything looks right. So one thing, well, I'm not going to do this in this file, but one thing I've decided to do is to replace all strings with backtick strings, because we don't need 3 different ways. Oh, that doesn't look right. That's not good at all. That scares me. Oh. Oh, no, it is parameterized. Okay. So this is okay. This is safe. All right, good. All right. For a second there, I thought we had some SQL injection. But what I've been doing, I don't want to have the line change on every single line for this file. But I am going through and just replacing all of the strings, all of them, with backticks. Because why have, like I said, why have 3 different ways to define a string? Just have one way to define a string. If there's one way that works best, and the other ones are merely useful, then just use the one that works best and don't use the things that are merely useful. Okay, so this looks good. Oh man, this is one of those things I don't want to touch. This is one of those Darby dragons. I suppose we could see, we shouldn't really be doing this with, these are supposed to be numbers and we're converting them to strings to compare them, which is not the right way to go about it. Because you end up with not numbers. Glad I'm not the only one that jumped on that SQL injection. Yeah. Yeah, it is parameterized. So we're all good. Hey, what's up, Janice? All right, and I'm gonna move the chat up here, maybe. I don't know where to move the chat right now. I want to move the chat in a place, in a good place. I'm experimenting with a different monitor setup so that I can have my face tilted slightly more towards the camera, but right now I'm not doing that because I'm on the treadmill. And I should step this up a little. I'm going 1.5 miles. I should be able to go. I mean, if you go too fast, then it kind of eats into your brain activity because you start using your brain for walking. But I can speed up a little bit more. Let me know if that's noisy, because I guess you'll just have to deal with it anyway, because it's what I'm doing right now. But let me know if it is noisy. Okay, what's this complaining about? Okay, this is one thing. If you use objection, it's an ORM framework. Objection has TypeScript only type definitions, or I'm not really sure what to call it. Basically, I guess if you're using TypeScript, then the objection type definitions work because it relies on extremely obscure, weird inheritance model type things. And so it's using type hinting with objection is less than useless. It is actually damaging because you can't figure out where there's a real problem. Because if there is a real problem on this line, I wouldn't know because it's always being masked by this stupid stuff that's not even true, that just requires you to go all in on TypeScript. So when people say, oh yeah, you can just add a little bit of TypeScript and everything's going to be fine, they are liars. You cannot just add a little bit of TypeScript here and there and incrementally upgrade your app, because TypeScript is fundamentally incompatible with JavaScript. It has a completely different type system, and it doesn't play well with JavaScript's own type system. All right. Yeah, it just gets so confused. I mean, if we had started this from scratch, we probably would have found a way to make it so that objection is happy. But objection is creating meta classes kind of on the fly. Plus, you're extending those classes. So you have a base class as an objection class. It's just a mess. Okay. Anyway, I'm just kind of looking through this file, trying to see if I see anything else that looks out of place. Let's see, what's that? Okay, that makes sense. Because I'm just kind of taking the opportunity to just refactor in large part. Okay, but this thing, I don't know what to do about it. I don't want to leave it here, but I'm also not clear on how to fix it because it may not necessarily yield the results that are expected. If I do a parse int, which is what this should be, because we're actually trying to check to see if the numbers are the same, and I do a parse int here, in theory, both of these numbers are already ints, but in some places they're saved as strings by mistake because of legacy reasons. And so the question is, will this hurt or will it help? Because ideally what we want is, we do want the nan not equals nan. But the problem here is that, let's see, what is this? Is this a filter? So that would be true. Okay, good. So nan will cause the forbidden to fire. So I'm good with that. That's a good change. All right, let me go to the next one here. So I've already done the change that I was talking about where I've taken all these structures away and I've replaced them with modules. And so the names stutter, but whatever. At least we're not going to have these random circular dependency errors. Okay. All right. So this is one of those things where I don't want to deal with it now, but you've heard me say ternaries are the devil's playground. So what this should be is, I am going to fix this one right now. Oh, whoops. Oh, that doesn't quite work. See, this is weird because we're overloading a type of a thing, which that's generally not a good way to go about. So this is an object, and then here we're converting it into an array from some subproperty. So let's see if I could just change this. Okay, we're guaranteed that that's going to change. So what if I just do this? Task slugs. Let's change it like that. I know this is kind of stupid, whatever. So we will say task slugs is an empty array. This is the default behavior that we want. So if nothing else, it's an empty array. And then we can say if task slugs dot slugs, then we can have task slugs equals task slugs dot split. So that should maintain the same behavior. But now we've got a default value. Whoops. We've got a default value. And then this, that makes me a little worried whenever I see something depending on a comma and a space. Because that means somewhere else it has to depend on a comma and a space. And I would much rather say this is a comma or a space any number of times. Let's just make sure that that turns out the same way. So if we have A, B, C, D, E, that's split. But then again, I don't know what that thing is, so maybe I shouldn't do that. It's just, when you're splitting on this sort of thing, this is what I want to split on. See, that gives me exactly what I want, even if the input is slightly malformed. And anytime you're dealing with strings like that, they're going to be slightly malformed sometimes. And so I don't know what this is, but I'm going to put a to-do here, and I'm going to put this in its place. Use this instead. I'm going to leave the way that it is because who knows, maybe there's allowed to be a space in a slug or a comma in a slug, which I don't think would be the case, but you never know. So, but that's what I would prefer to do, is to split on that and then do a dot filter. So let me actually put it exactly the way that I'd put it here. We'd want to do a dot trim, dot split, dot filter, Boolean. That makes me feel safer. I can sleep better at nights if that's the behavior that we have, because then if wherever this arbitrary space is coming from, if the code gets changed or the human inputs it incorrectly, this is going to give us the right result. So that's what I would prefer to have there. Okay, let's just go through here. All right, this one, again, just going to change this to use a template string. So I gave my big spiel at the beginning, and that's why I started this work, but that's mostly already done in this particular bit that I'm working on. Oh, by the way, feel free to ask questions. Let's see here. Okay, good. So this one, here's another one. Now, I don't like const, but we've already got a bunch of const here, so I'm just going with it, even though it's kind of antithetical. Makes you think that, oh, this must be a constant, when obviously it's not a constant. But just for the sake of it's already there, I'm going to leave that there for now. Okay. Let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see. Also, most places I recommend using double question marks these days rather than double pipes, because double pipes probably doesn't do what you want most of the time. It will lead to subtle bugs with false and empty string and stuff like that, where what you often want is this to mean if the property doesn't exist or is null. But I don't know what's meant there, and so I'm not going to change that. These are just error messages, so nothing much matters about that. I probably shouldn't spend too much time on that here, because I've got bigger fish to fry. So I think I'm going to try to speed through this the rest of the way. Let's see, leave that one alone. Oh, okay. Yep. This is all well and good. Okay, good. So I'm just trying to take a double look at this, make sure that all big things are, I want to make sure that any promises are awaited. That's one of the things I'm looking for. So if you see a promise that's not awaited, or something that looks promise-ish and it's not awaited, let me know. So actually, I just want to double check right here. Anywhere there's a query, there should be an await. Okay, there's no queries in this one. Okay, anywhere there's a query, there should be an await. Yep, okay. Good, I didn't miss anything. Now we're back up to the top, I think. All right, and then this one, are we up to this one already? Map, state products, let me see. Prerequisites. Okay, ideally, this one we are, okay, that's handling the error, so that's correct. Also, anywhere there's a try catch, generally try catches don't do the right thing. So dot catch is usually what you want, because dot catch is async friendly, whereas try catch is not. Okay, so this is pretty simple. Nothing too interesting going on in here. Other than that, let's see, what is this supposed to be? State product equals. Anytime that Prettier feels that a template string needs to be split up, that's a good indicator that too much is going on in that template string. So no expressions in template strings. That's my rule. All right, state product label. Is that what this is? I think it's just a label. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, and then it looks like we got the same thing here. Let state product label equal, and then we can do state product label. All right. And this one looks kind of funky. I don't know what to make of that. What does this mean? All right, so this is just adding a space into this other thing. And I think we just need to define what this other thing is. So let's say name is equal to unset, because this thing is going to be in memory whether you use it or not. So you might as well just say, this is where it's at in memory, and then I'm going to overwrite it. You know? So, all right, so if state name, then we want name equals state name to lowercase. So this would just be name, I think. I think this says the same thing now. I think that's right. Okay, and then the same thing with this label. So let label equals, let's see, unknown state. That looks wrong. Oh, whoops, I meant to do this. I meant to use, I'm getting in the habit of the backtick strings. It's kind of a tough habit to get into, to be honest. Okay, so then this is correct. And then this, was that supposed to be a double space there? That doesn't look right. I'm going to keep it because it's what's there. To do, is this double space intended? Because what we would have is just name, no, state name. So that is exactly what it was. Let's state equals, okay. I'm going to say label equals state name. I don't know if that's the right way to look at it, but that's what I'm going to go with. Okay, so that should have preserved the correct behavior, I think. Oh no, this is now label. Okay, so this is label, and that's name. Or maybe we should reverse these. Actually, that's the label and that's the name. Let's see. Now this one's called label. Whatever. Okay, moving on. All right, that's all that's there. Okay. So let's see what else we got. Hey, everybody. How's it going? What brings you to the stream today? Yum. Is there anything that you would like to learn about? So I'm not going to go through finalized transaction because that I've got another PR. That's the big one. That's the big kahuna. These are all small potatoes. Okay. All right. And then this has been parameterized. Look at that. I am going to go ahead. Let's see. Okay, I am going to go ahead and just break this down. Okay, so that's as percent. Got it. And then it would be kind of nice just to align these. I don't know if this is actually going to work, It might be worse off than if I did nothing. But just to be able to align these to say, okay, that's what they're as. Okay, then we got a from with another select. Okay, and then what is going on here? That's all black magic to me. Okay, so one, we're gonna, and then this is all gonna be from, whoops, this join, and then I don't know, should it be join, and then on, and then join, and then on? I'm not sure what's the proper way to format the SQL here. And then join, and then on, and then where, because I kind of think that maybe the from and the join is kind of like a where and an and. Okay, I think something happened here. That one closes this out. Okay, this is it. This is what this is actually trying to say. Although this as progress over here is a little bit tough to read. And everything's parameterized. It's just one set of IDs. We should have n should be capitalized here. Is there anything else like that? Kind of want these sums to be all caps. If there's any sum in here. Sum. Okay. If should be all caps. That's a SQL thing. As. Take it or leave it on as. But generally, I like anything that's SQL to be caps. I'm just going to caps as. So space as space, space as space. As. Okay. What is this complaining about? Okay, this is also complaining that underscore is being used without being required, because somewhere in the code, underscore was added as a global. Hey everybody, how's it going? So I'm just walking on my treadmill coding. I'm working through some, the big thing that I'm working through here is this, I'm restructuring all of the exports so that we don't get any circular dependency problems. And so that it's just cleaner when you grep through the code to be able to find a particular function, and you're not, because there's a lot of functions where in a package you have a create and a delete. And so if you destructure those, and if things are very similar, then when you go to grep for them, or, you know, do find and replace or whatever, it's hard to find them. So this is just one of the, and then alphabetizing them. So native things come first, then the models of our own code, then the utils of our own code, then third-party libs. That's the way I structure it. Okay, and I'm going through here, and while I'm doing this, I'm just going ahead and as much as I can. Okay, this has probably got some trailing slashes. Let me see if we got trailing slashes. I guess I need to escape that plus there. So watch, when I go down and I hit save, it takes me back to here, which lets me know that it found a trailing slash there. I'm not escaping it properly. Oh, like this? No, hold on. Percent. I want to take all ending strings and I want to get rid of them. Okay, let me try that again. I'm going to undo this. All right, that was it. There was just an extra space. Sorry, I said strings. I meant spaces. All ending spaces. I'm getting rid of all those. Otherwise, my editor freaks out. All right, so let's go ahead and restructure these as well. Okay, state, count, whoa. We want as, count, and then from. And then we should be able to indent all of these as well. If somebody knows of a good way to format SQL in situ, please let me know. All right, so this looks like it's got multiple ifs. It's got an if, and then an if, and then a bunch of other things. So that doesn't look good to me. I don't like that. Let's see. So now we got another if. And then we close out this if, I guess. All right. And that's as state. So I really would kind of just like, oh, there we go. Yeah, let's put that there. And because we've got nested ifs, I'm going to align it this way, just so it's easier to tell what's going on. Okay. Okay, from another subselect. All right. And see how deep this goes. All right, and then this has got another if in it. So because that's a nested if, I'm going to indent it. Again, if you know what the proper rules are to be able to unambiguously say this is the correct way to format SQL, I would love to entertain that. I don't know what those rules are, so I'm doing the best that I can here. Okay, so this closes the if. We're still inside of the select. And then we've got a join. All right. Then we're going to join on. And we got another join that's still inside of here. And then an on that's part of this one. And then I think all of this, where are the GameCube tutorials? Hey, Eban, what's up? So I don't do those very often. I do that every once in a while. So this is predominantly what my channel is. I know a lot of people subscribed because I had a couple of good GameCube tutorials, but mostly I code. You know, GameCube is a fun hobby, but it's not really my thing. As sad to say as that is. Let's see, is this? But I do love my GameCube. But what? Tell me, what tutorial would you like to see? What do you want to know about that you don't know about? Let's see. Okay, so this from goes to here. Scary. All right, and then this group by goes to here. And then I think we go to here. Is that it? Is this the whole enchilada from select all the way down? So for those of you that don't know, I created the best GameCube homebrew video that there is. And the reason that I say that unequivocally is do a Google search for GameCube homebrew. I'm the first video. Spent a lot of time on it though. It was fun, but gosh, it was a lot of work. Okay. So there's all of that. Okay, I think we should do it this way, maybe. Okay, that is... Oof, that's some scary SQL right there. That's just big. That's hard. That's hard to figure out. It'd be nice if the as syntax worked in reverse. If it was just swapped the other way around. So you'd say, select the thing that I want as the thing that it is, rather than select the thing that it is as the thing that I want it to be named as. If the alias came first, because it'd be a lot easier to read from temp as this select. It's just not super easy to read that. Okay. So that's its own thing. Oh no. Hey, well, this one's not so bad. This one's got... Oh, I did want to rename all of those as's, actually. Make them all sequely. Yes. as. All right, do we have anything else that should change in here? Is MacBook your better option than Windows? Absolutely. For me, yeah. Most important thing for me is to have a computer that works reliably. That's increasingly no computer. Linux doesn't work reliably. Windows doesn't work reliably. Mac has really dropped the ball the last 4 years or so. They're just terrible. But it's kind of, I like the way that Jordan Peterson phrases this in some of his videos. He says, oh, Macs. Well, he doesn't say it about Macs. I'm just putting Macs in with his voice. Oh, Macs, they're terrible. They're awful. Why would you ever want one? They're about the worst thing that you could ever have. In fact, the only thing that's worse than a Mac is everything else. So you have to use the Mac. If you don't know who Jordan Peterson is, check him out. He is this intellectual Canadian guy who people love to hate. And he has these isms that are just so good or funny or whatever. By the way, editor, highlight that clip. We could call that... What does Jordan Peterson think about Macs? And that's what we'll call that. It'll be clear that it's a parody clip. I don't think anybody can we'll put his photo on the thumbnail. It'll be all right. We'll all live. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to do the same thing here with the as. I got to be careful to have the spaces because otherwise I'd mess stuff up, you know? And then, yeah, I guess this is technically correct. Okay, wait. But, okay, that one, no space there. Got it. Oh, okay. So we need to indent all of these, I think. There we go. All right, and then and then we're going to select this one so we can figure out what these are. You can parallel it to have the boast of both worlds. No, not anymore. They got rid of that with the latest one. Well, no, I guess in parallel, but hold on, wait a minute. The best of both worlds? You mean the worst of both worlds? I don't want the worst of both worlds. I already have a Mac. I don't want to add the problems of Windows onto that too. I want to deal with the fewest problems that I can. Yeah, generally when you combine things together, you get the combined negatives. You usually don't get the combined positives. That's normally not how it works. I want to try that little bit again. Oh, Macs, they're terrible. They're the most awful thing. I don't know why anybody would ever want one. The only thing that's worse is the alternative. What looks so confusing? The sequel? I agree. I am not 100% sure what these do. I'll have to figure it out someday, but for now, I'm just going through and restructuring things so that it is easier. Let's see, like this. There we go. So that it's easier to read it, if nothing else. So this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Days 180, days 90, days 30, days 7. Oh, okay, so these are going to be parameterized. And then I guess it's going to be... So this is going to be 180 days ago, 90 days ago, 30 days ago, 70 days ago. And I guess this is going to give us maybe the number of login attempts or something from that time period. Get login data. I actually want to see, where's that used, if anywhere? Get health data. Oh, make health report. Okay, so I think this is telling us how many people have logged in the last 180 days, so on and so forth. So this is just a health report. I think I get that now. All right. At least that one makes sense. Okay, this is where I started. This is the one that needed the most love. And I think for this one, I'm just going to go whole hog on entirely replacing all instances of an apostrophe with a backtick. Whoops. What? Yes? Yes? Okay, there we go. So, no. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right. I just got to be careful not to replace an apostrophe that's supposed to be an apostrophe. But that's another reason that I'm all in on the backticks now, because then you don't have to worry about that problem ever. The only time that you need backticks is when you need backticks, and that's rare. Whereas quotes and apostrophes you need quite often. So if you just always use backticks, you're very rarely ever going to need to escape a backtick. Okay, that's all done. So let me go back from the top again. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, something's really upset. This expression is not callable. So something went wrong in here, I think. I don't know why it thinks the expression needs to be callable. But let's just delete this and see what happens. We should get one error that we didn't have before, which is that we should have, let's see, refund is defined but never used. Refund, is that in here? Okay. So now we got that problem. Okay. I don't know. Was this problem here before? Let me just undo everything I just did. Whoops. So back to the start. And let's try a little bit at a time. Okay, we're not going to do any of this. Oh, I wonder it has to do with object keys being strings. That may be something that I hadn't considered. Let's see what happens if I do the rest of these. So there's only a few of them here. I only have a Windows on Mac Boot Camp for certain applications that I can't download on the Apple. Yeah, I actually do have a 2015 MacBook as a backup, and I do have Windows on that. For example, I wanted to calibrate my TV, and I have an X-Rite calibrator. So I bought it for the monitors. So it's this thing, X-Rite. Basically, you can just save a ton of money if you buy an X-Rite iDisplay rather than buying a monitor that's already calibrated. If you buy a monitor that's already calibrated, you're going to pay an extra couple of $100 because a professional that had equipment that was similar to this had to calibrate it for you. And then that was done on the factory floor, but it was still somebody had to do it with equipment, and so you have this upcharge for calibrated monitors. If you buy a good monitor that's got a good gamut, and then you use this to do your calibration, then you get a nice calibration on your monitor, and you don't have to spend a bunch of money. And so with the money that you save from not calibrating your monitor, you can buy more monitors. Same things with the TV. Instead of buying a $5,000 TV that's been pre-calibrated, you could buy a $1,000 TV that hasn't been pre-calibrated and then get pretty good color results. Kind of a best in class kind of thing. Or best, not best in class. What am I trying to think of here? What's the word? Best value. Okay. So I am confused as to why. Let's see what happens if I do this. Okay, so now it's just freaking out. Let me see what Node thinks about this. Is this a JS hint issue or is this a Node issue? Oh my goodness. Oh, well that's unfortunate. So apparently I did not know this. You're not allowed to use template strings inside of an object key. So that that shoots down my let's just use one type of string and be done with it idea, because somebody made a boo-boo when they were creating the spec for this. And yes, I do consider it a boo-boo. When things don't work as expected, that's a boo-boo. Huh. Well, there's always the exception. I'm gonna have to revise my thoughts then, because that was looking pretty sweet to just have one thing to rule them all, and there's an obvious way to go about it. But it just became less obvious, because now you have to say, well, except if, and I guess the same thing is probably true of imports. I wonder. I'll have to check that out later. Okay. So except for where it isn't allowed, syntactically, everything's looking good now. All right, so I'm just going to do, well, let me do it this way. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to do them all at once. Hey, everybody, what's up? I'm AJ O'Neill. I'm a Live Code Network. You can ask me questions. We can have a little bit of tangent here and there. I do celebrity impressions now. That's the new thing. So, you can request that. You can ask the guys at work. I've been doing celebrity impressions at work, too. Everybody loves them. They're the best. All right. So I'm guessing if I just get rid of all this stuff and I just say modified is node C, whoops. There we go. So we should be able to run this check and hopefully not get back anything bad. Oh, good. We got back something bad. That's good news, though. It tells us that there was a bug in the code that we found. So I'm excited about that. Stripe.coupons. So this was not properly attributed as an async function. Great. All right, we got another one on 290. Whoops, 290. 290. There we go. So this, what's going wrong here? So this should be async. About to have chaos. All right, that worked. Everything's good. Happy day. All right, so let's continue on. I think I was up to record timeline. I got a few more to go. I'm going to have to rewatch your GameCube video again. Hopefully I can succeed with the process. Yeah, so just tell me, go ahead, ask real quick. What was the part that was confusing? I think the biggest thing is people just need to hit pause, because it's literally 20 hours of information that I gathered, condensed down into 6 minutes, and then I sped it up a little bit. So I'm talking fast. And I added an extra 10 or 20% to the speed when I encoded it. So, yeah, you got to slow it down a little bit and really figure out what you want to do. Also, remember, this was created when the only alternative was sifting through forums. So it's the first video of its kind. No one else had created a video like that before. Hence the reason it became so popular. And I think there is one other video that's starting to gain on me, which is fine. I'm not going to go back and redo it or anything. I wasn't doing it. I was doing it at the time just for fun. Okay, we already did this one, right? Record timeline? Oh, wow, that one, it's not what I was expecting. Okay, and then, this one's simple. We'll just go ahead and do the tick-ticks here. Oh, whoops. All right, that looks good. And then Stripe is the big one. This is the big reason. This is the reason I started this, was because I had some sort of error in here. I wonder if it'll quit whining if I use quotes there. Nope. Oh, it does. So use strict. Let me just... Use strict should probably... But it's allowed, right? I don't know. Maybe use strict needs to be in single quotes as well. Let me just find anywhere where I put use, whoops. Okay, I'm gonna fix this one to be single quotes on that. And then all of these that I'm modifying, they should all have use strict in them. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit, maybe. Okay. Where do the games save to the memory card or the SD card, and how much memory do you think it would be needed to have the whole library? So the memory cards are uber tiny, the GameCube cards. They're uber tiny. So you must save it to the SD card. You could not fit so much as a single game. Pick the smallest game. None of them will fit on the largest GameCube memory card. The GameCube memory card is measured in bits. It's measured in bits. So it's 1/10 of the size of what you think it is. If you see 4 MB, it's not 4 megabytes. It's 4 megabits. That means it's half of a megabyte, essentially. Am I doing the math on that right? Yeah, I am. Yeah, so the only place you can store them is on the SD card. And you cannot, somebody asked the other day, can I just use, I haven't responded to this yet, can I just use an SD card adapter as a memory card? No, you can't. And I actually explained this in the video. It's an EXI adapter. Okay. 222. Oh no, what's this? Okay, cool. Oh, good. Good. Let me check which files these are. Hopefully we're not stepping on each other's toes. Okay, looks like... Wow, just that one file. Dang. Okay, do I have anything under constants? Resource map? No, I don't. Okay. Just looking at a coworker's code. And checking out what he did. All right, that looks good. Your multitasking is great and productive. Perhaps you should take it to the next. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm going to take it up to 4.5 miles per hour. All right, there we go. We're going to rope jump if... No, we can't do that. Okay, this is not sustainable right now. Let me go back down to 3. I need to go back down to 3. Oh, crap. 3. Okay, there we go. I can do that. I can do a power walk. No, it's really difficult to do too much at the same time on this. Wait, what was I looking for? I was looking for use strict, right? Okay. And then I want to say, or echo 1. So I'm actually going to replace all these. Hold on, let me go back. I'm going to replace all of these with -Q. And then I'm going to put on here echo 1. And I'm just going to repeat this. And then I'm going to go change the 1s to 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, first, let's just run it and see if we have any problems. No, we don't. So the way that we know we'd have a problem is, let me go ahead, because you gotta test your test. You gotta make sure your test is actually testing what you think it's testing. So I'm gonna remove use strict, and then error. We got an error. Okay, good. So these all have use strict. Good. So this is everything that's related to Stripe throughout the application. Everything that uses Stripe throughout the application has all been cleaned up here. All the exports have been cleaned up. I should just double check on that real quick. Just that's the last thing I need to check. Make sure, did we clean up all the exports? Module.exports. Okay. What I wanted to do here was a little bit different. Am I going to do it? Because this is bad. This will lead to circular dependencies. So I did not fix this. Hold on. I need to slow down a little bit. Let me go down to 2 miles an hour. Yeah, that gives me a little bit more ability to think. Gives me more oxygen for my brain and less for my legs, you know? Okay. Do the games have to be converted to ISO files? And so then wouldn't it be possible to use the SD card to have games saved onto there? Well, what else would you do? So ask yourself this question. How else, what other option is there? There is no other option. That's what an ISO file is. An ISO file is a game copy. There is no other type of copy of game. The GCM files are just, somebody just clicked rename and rename it from ISO to GCM. That's it. There is nothing else other than the homebrew Dolphin files, but that's a different thing entirely. The .dol files run directly. Okay. But yeah, if you wanted to have the whole GameCube library, I don't know. Basically every game is a gigabyte. So if there's 600 games, 600 gigabytes, you get a terabyte card for $200. But I don't think you want the whole library. I mean, you tell me, you know. Okay, so this is what I want to do, but I don't know if I can do it. Is I want... Okay, well here's what we're going to do at the very least. We're going to do let stripe with a capital S. Okay, because there's no other stripe with a capital S. Good. So we're going to do let stripe with a capital S equals module.exports. This will get rid of any sort of problems we might have with a circular dependency. Then, rather than overwriting exports with the new objects, which can lead to circular dependency problems, we're going to get rid of all that. And we're going to replace, here's what we're going to do. First, I'm going to replace all of the commas with semicolons. Now notice, when I do regular expressions and find a replace, I don't try to get a regular expression that does everything, because it's complicated. Okay, boom. That's what I need to do first. That was easy. I also don't need to worry about formatting. So here, I'm going to replace the beginning of this with, actually, there is one thing I need to do here. I need to replace the word characters. So I need to, okay, because I need to have these in there twice. I need to replace the word character with stripe dot word character equals word character. I mean, not word character, but there we go. Word. See? There we go. Fixed. All right. No longer possible to have, well, that's strong. Highly difficult to create circular dependency problems now. They could still be created, but you'd have to try. Or do some really weird stuff. Okay, so that one's done. This one is completely done. Everything that I wanted to do, the promises, the restructuring, all that stuff is done. Okay, let's make sure this one's done. Module.exports. Okay, this is bad. We don't want to do this if we can avoid it, but this is the way that it is. Let me just see where else this file is used and if there's anything we can do to fix this. Because we could maybe just run an automated tool to fix this, depending on how many files it's in. Oh, it's only used in one place. Report subscription. I'm going to do this with, what is this? New subscription. There's probably too many places where this is going to have some sort of consequence or other. So record timeline, for example. What is this? Is this record timeline? I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a function or what that is. I think that's a function. So all these things are being exported as functions, which is a problem because it means that you're overriding the module.exports, which means that you can run into circular dependency issues. I'm not going to fix these right now because I don't think that we have a specific problem with that. I'm going to skip on that one. Work isn't worth it right now. Just trying to go for the low-hanging fruit where I can. All right, what is this? This one is health report. I'm just going to say let HR equals module.exports. And then down here, same process as before. Except that now, okay, first we'll do these. And then we'll do this one. Except we'll call it, what do I call it? HR? Is that what I called it? HR? Yeah. We'll call it HR. All right. And that's that. All right, so now that one is going to be free of any of that class of problem. Okay. Okay, wait, what did I do with the report subscription report timeline? Did I do this one yet? I think I did that one. Oh, that one, yeah. Report subscription and report timeline, both of them have the same problem, right? Record timeline. They're both module.export, yeah. We can't, that's going to be too complex to solve. Okay, so these three down at the bottom we're done with. Finalized transaction, I'm not going to fix further because I got another PR for that. And then this one, okay, map, state, products. Yeah, this is no bueno. Because here, we actually have the same problem. This is really just exporting a function. Map, state, products, module. Yeah. I'm going to leave that one alone. Module.exports, again, same problem. But in order to do this, okay, check prereq. Nope, doesn't depend on itself anywhere. That's good. All right. And then last one is account. Let's just make sure that account module.exports. Okay, we need to fix the account exports and we're good. Do we have anything called account? Okay, this already has something called account, but it should be called account model. I think all these things should be called model, except that one's a util. That one should, oh, and these are not, these are not alphabetized. That's weird. How did that happen? How did that not happen, I guess, rather? Okay, account utils, auth in, that should go what, here? Credits goes here. Handle company name change. H, I, A, B, C, D, E. Permissions, element P, Q, R, S. There we go, alphabetize. So we got our constants. Whoops. We got our utils of all sorts. All right. And then I'm just going to call this A is what I'm going to call it. Module.exports. And then I'm going to go down here. Whoops. I'm going to do the same thing that we just did, except now it's going to be A. Oh, whoops. I went to the wrong thing there. I meant to do this. Okay, let me check in the comments here. Whoa. Oh, it's Casper's. Oh, sorry, Casper's. I didn't even realize that was you. I didn't read the name at first. Hey, Casper's. How's it going? The only downside to the GameCube is that it's difficult to find decently priced controllers. In other words, game saves go onto the memory card and game files are saved onto the Gecko SD card. Yes. Yes, although there is experimental support, it may not be experimental anymore, for saving games onto the SD card as well. But, you know, stuff moves fast in the homebrew community. Surprisingly fast. All right, so this, we're just going to call it A. There we go. And that's all of that. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this in to our staging environment and see what craps, if anything. Actually, I'll put it in dev first. Just see, can we log in? Can we do normal stuff? All right. So I'm going to go in here source API. So I'm just going to call this refactor Stripe. See, exports, awaits, templates, etc. It's a really big etc. there. Okay, what else we got? All right. Okay. All right. So here I go. Push dash F. I kind of remind you of the professor you had for BCIS, Business Computer Information Science. No? Baloney, company, instructional sutures. Now I'm doing the NPM thing. Okay. Here we go. So, Iben, where are you from? Apparently, GameCube brings you here, so I don't have to ask that. And Caspers, are you still on? I saw you were on for a little bit. I didn't even read the name at first, and I didn't recognize the photo because the head's so small. So, Caspers is my brother. For those of you that didn't know. So if you ever want to kidnap someone for ransom, he's the guy to kidnap. Okay. Oh, that's just a bajillion things. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to check out development. Well, first, let me check out main. Pull main. And nothing should ever go wrong with main. And then I want to fix Stripe. And then I'm going to rebase main. Good, that should be up to date. I'm going to check out development. Actually, I'm just going to blow away development. I don't even know what's there, but I don't want it anymore. Blow away development. Checkout-B, development, git push-F, origin, development. Texas, huh? Oh yeah, nice hat. Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Let's see here. All right, we're not going to pull that. I'm going to go look at this one now. I'm going to say I've got eyes on it. So which one was this? Restructure flat feature. Okay, wait, did this one? No, the restructure TX. Okay, that one's the big one. Okay. This one's a little smaller one. I'm a big offender when it comes to commits that are too large. Because I start out small and then I'm like, well, maybe I could just do this too. All right. Okay, I checked it out. I'm going to rebase main. And then I'm going to try to rebase fix Stripe. Hey-o! That's awesome. So I'm going to check out development. And I'm going to rebase. With restructure flat feature. And then let's push to development. Yeah. That's weird. I could have sworn I did that earlier. Oh, I didn't do the U. That's right. Got it. Okay. So that should be going. That should free me up. Now I'm in a good mental space to work on the next. Well, no, there's one more thing I want to do while I'm here. Okay, so I'm going to take this one and I'm going to rebase it on top of the other two because it should rebase cleanly. Okay, so git checkout this one, git rebase main, git rebase. What was the one that I was just on? Restructure flat feature. Okay, and I'm not surprised that there's a little bit of conflict, but it should be relatively minor. I think it's just, let's see. Oh, bother. Oh, yeah. All right. So let's see what else. Is that it? Is it just this part? Because if it's just this part, I think it's going to be all right. All right, let's get rid of all of this. In fact, let's just copy this. I don't know how to do this. I'm going to assume, let's see, account task model. What's the very top thing here? Fire stripe, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So all this has been restructured. I probably restructured more than I intended to in one of the other commits. Okay. And then what do I need to do is tx dot. Okay, that looks right. And then st stripe products. That's because this one, okay, now I remember what's wrong. So this one has gone away now. So this is no longer stripe util, I don't think. All right, this is tx. I think the tx and the bx were the ones. You sure do know computer stuff. I know how to go for. Oh, I don't know. I'm not a good support channel. I'll answer questions, but I'll roast you as well. You ask me how to fix your printer, you're going to have a bad day. Actually, I'm going to have a bad day. Your day will probably be just fine. Don't ask me how to fix your printer. I need the little genie voice. I don't do it. I don't like to do it, man. Okay, I think this is right. Okay, and then bx dot, okay, so everything is mostly good, yeah? We'll leave this here. All right, have a good one. Nice chat with you too, Iban. Or Eban? Eban. That's probably Eban, huh? All right. Okay. So let's see. All right, what I'm trying to do is just scan through for any errors that might be real errors. And I probably need to turn the type hinting off because it gives these crappy errors because of objection. Yeah, so I'm just looking for real errors, if there's any real errors in here. So far, so good. This is so scary. This should never happen. Let's see. So, did we have... Okay, so that was like this, yeah? And then we just have like that, yeah? Is it going to force those to break apart again? Yeah, it is. I don't want to deal with this. This is not the purpose of this. I don't want to screw up my rebase. Moving on. I'm just looking for errors. Is there anything that looks like it's going to bite me in the bunghole? All right. Possibly undefined. Info. It just doesn't like that info is the way that it is. Okay, email infos. Ah, that's weird. What was the purpose of the porpoise? The porpoise. What is the purpose of doing this then? Combine email info. I don't think that does anything other than change the shape of the data. So it almost seems that email infos is possibly a return value of this function, but in a way that is not clear. So let's see, are email infos passed in here? Email infos are indeed passed in. So there's a potential problem. So we have an execute task event, whatever that means. Execute task event. Yeah. Let's see. The task for the SDK. More refactoring. Reviewing and testing right now. Cypress. Yeah, all those things, good things. Okay. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum. All right, so yeah, I'm not going to do any of this. I kind of want to restructure that, but I'm not going to do that now. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just checking for actual real errors. So execute task event. This is my problemo here. I don't know where did more details come from? So email infos is here. All right, is it used again here? All right, so here's a problem. Here's a problem that we have. So this would be completely non-obvious. This is why this is a problem. Email infos is completely changed here. It is not returned. It is changed. There's no indication that it would be changed. And then it's used here. And then here. So I'm just going to put note. Email infos has been modified by, what is this one? Execute task event. Because it would not be obvious if you were to look at email infos here and then look at it down here and it's a completely different object. It would not be obvious. So I'm also going to put this note elsewhere. So this is delayed task events. So I'm going to put where this comes back. Let's see. I'm going to put note. The modified email infos is used by execute task event. All right. So that's why I'm just going to let that one hang there as an error saying, hey, this is never used again. Oh, this one right here. Oh, wow, that's happening twice? Ugh. Oh, who knows what state that's in. Oh, well. All right. Let's see. Do we see anything else that smells funny? Bum, 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 bum. Okay, what is this one? Oh, cannot find name subscriptions. That's good. I think this was actually Stripe, if I recall correctly. I think that's why I can't find it, is I think it was renamed to Stripe, and that's exactly the type of thing I'm looking for. Okay, so let's see, get subscriptions. Oh man, that's all over the place. And that's supposed to be get subscriptions. Do we have get subscriptions? Script. Do we have that as well? No. Okay. So the good news is everywhere that it's messed up equally. All right. So this is coming off of Stripe now. So let's just go check that out one more time. So I'm going to say we're going to replace subscriptions subscriptions with Stripe util. Parse subscriptions. Whoops. Okay. So let me just make sure parse subscriptions is where? Is it on Stripe? Is that where it's defined? Yep, it's exported as part of Stripe. All right, good. So this I need to clean up. So where's Stripe util here? Stripe util is there. And so that took on some extra work that wasn't anywhere before. All right, so I'm going to go to the first instance of Stripe util, and then I'm just going to continue on from there, because this is where I left off, I think. That's where I encountered the real error. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm screening for as I'm going through these. Okay. Let's see here. Stripe.subscriptions. Object is possibly undefined. So this is our instance of Stripe, not our package for Stripe. Yep, okay. All right, I'm not worried about that. That's just bad type hinting. Okay, what's this one? It's more that objection garbage that I've been complaining about. Okay, I'm not going to adjust any of those things. I'm just looking for a very specific type of possible error. All right, nope, that's all good. So I think with that, I'm just going to run a final check here. Yep, looks good, checks out. All right, so git rebase continue. Oh, cool. Yeah, that looks great. Okay. All right, so I'm going to git checkout development, git rebase, restructure tx, and let's go ahead and push that. And I'm going to check out development over in the other window here, and we're going to see if development is thriving or dying. That's not what I want to do. All right, open up fish. All right, ooh, lots of badness happening. Lots of badness. Okay, Stripe product is not defined. Okay, good. Good to see that error. Stripe product is not defined. Stripe product is not defined. Okay. Cool. All right, so that should be easy enough to fix. Let's go back into, that was probably the Stripe. Fix Stripe, I'm guessing, is where this became a problem. Okay, get Stripe product. Stripe product.query. Okay. So it looks like this was not brought in properly. Okay, so what we need then is under models, we need Stripe product equals require. There we go. Oh, whoops. There we are. Huh. Okay, state. All right, cannot find state. So this may be problematic as well. I have to look at this. Where did state come from? came from the models, right? So maybe it's just models state. Right. Let's try it out. Okay, Stripe product. Let's do state and then state. Okay, that's another one. Oh, does this also have a bunch? How did I miss all this? Spent all this time in this file and I missed the most basic things. I need a wah, wah, wah. Okay. All right, my feet are starting to get tired. Okay, I'm going to stand back on this thing for a minute. All right. So what else have we got? Am I missing any more super basic stuff? I could have sworn I went through this. All right, st state product. All right, that's all going to be right. Okay, is this when is this running? So this is all going to be Stripe. So replace all instances of st with Stripe. Okay, that should be good. All right, again, from bottom to top, let's look through. And I'm going to have to be a little bit careful about this. Okay, Stripe, yeah, that one's fine. Oh, rethrow Stripe. Rethrow Stripe is going to be just rethrow. Huh, I could have sworn I already did this. I wonder if I accidentally dropped a commit or didn't push a commit that I thought I had pushed. Because I did push before I left yesterday. But yeah, it's definitely within the realm of possibility. Oh, you know what? I did a bad thing. I'm going to get blisters on my feet. I did a dumb thing, didn't I? Oh. I should have had my shoes on. I was just walking on this with socks. But I should have put my shoes on. That would have been... Because I have essentially treadmill shoes, as it were. I mean, they're not treadmill shoes, but they're shoes that are comfortable on the treadmill and work well. For some reason, I forgot to put them on. I started walking on my socks. And of course, that made my feet hurt sooner. And it's probably going to end up in blisters. Not that that's much of a problem for me, seeing as how I don't do anything out in the real world. But I can kind of feel kind of in a weird place too, where my toes meet my foot. Feels like there's going to be blisters there. That's what you get for being a noob. All right. So let's check this out. Git commit -m. This is going to be fix Stripe. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to bring this through the different things. There we go. Git checkout development, git rebase. Oh, that one I'm going to have to force push. Okay, now I need to check development over here and see if these errors go away. Okay, I'm going to put away the treadmill and move the desk down a little. Unplug treadmill from other side of the room. There's the extension cable. Okay. I'll put it up against a wall. Oh no! I just broke all the rules today. Oh no, I didn't put my board down underneath the treadmill. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. There's a board that's supposed to go under the treadmill so that it vents properly and doesn't melt the carpet. Well, it didn't seem to melt the carpet. We'll see. We'll see. All right, now let's lower this down a little bit. Whoa. We move this a little, I guess. Or not. Come on down. Oh. There we go. Wait a minute. That's what's going on? Everything's upside down. Oops. Okay, there we go. Is it right side up again? Good, now I just need to point this, and then maybe touch here, here. There we go, there. Boop. Boop. My runner's hair, you know. Okay, there we go. How is development doing? Okay, development's looking good. Development's looking really good. You know what to do when development's looking good. Well, first log in, make sure it's really good, and then push to staging, where the real hurt comes. All right. Okay, I'm logging in. I'm clicking around. Cool beans, cool beans. Looks like lots of stuff. Let me go over here. Get checkout staging. Get rebase. This one. Whoops. Let me see what this is about. It's probably something that got refactored away earlier. Let's see. TX. Yeah, so this one, role, modifier, async. Yeah, that's correct. I'm guessing this happens in a couple of other places too. Looks like, yeah. Oh, that seems silly. That one, yeah. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to say, you know what, staging, goodbye. Well, it says it's just one of one. So if I fix it here, then that's it, right? Get rebase, continue. So what I should have if I get diff restructure is nothing. Close enough. All right. Okay, now it might be time for me to take a break and then go look at some other tasks. Well, let me see what I can get done real quick while we're here. Also, can I lower this from here? I'm going to try to lower the mic real quick. Had to walk around. Okay, I'm back. All right. Let's see what else we got. Hey, how's it going, by the way? Happy Tuesday to you all. All right. I need to check up on something. So I got a digital assistant now, and I'm figuring out my workflow. Actually, technically I have 2 digital assistants, and I'm looking at a third. But it's not the point is not to keep 3 digital assistants. The point is to figure out a workflow that works and see what's the high cost versus low cost tasks. I just need to check something real quick. I'm just going to check if Utah Rust has been updated. Hold on. I'll bring this over here so you can see too. Okay, there's Utah Rust. Did things get updated? They did not get updated as of yet. Okay. I'm going to ask when the timeline on that is. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. It's always slow at the start, getting to work with anything. Starting any new type of work. Don't mind me for a second as I just check a couple emails. Okay, and then I need to figure out. So this, I think, is going to go all right. I'm going to say reference error. Errors is not defined. Cool beans, cool beans. That's all right. Let's see. Let's see. Check where this is where the function's defined. So I'm going to guess. Just quick error here. Errors. Nope, that's not it. It's one of these 3. Errors. Nope, not there. Of course, this could be a red herring. There's errors. There's is fine right there. Yeah. Let's see. This is probably a bad. Okay. Stay the course. That's not looking there. Hold on. What am I doing right now? Yeah. Is it errors here? I don't see errors here. Document. That's okay. These are not coming back with right thing. That's nasty looking. Bah. What line does it say it's coming off of? 32? That's this line right here. Yep. Okay. So just something in the call stack here is thrown in there. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, I got two other things to look at. One is okay. I need to go look up an error that's happening in production. So let me go do that real quick. So basically, I'm not going to show this on the screen because, in production, there could always be some sort of data that's more sensitive that we don't want to put on the screen. So I'm not going to put it on the screen. But basically, I applied a hotfix. It's tough, right? Because there's a lot of changes that need to be made. There's a lot of things that need to make it through, and there's going to be all these little subtle things as we go. And I kind of want to get to the point where we can at least get good call stacks. Let's see. Errors is not. Hold on. Let me look at this one other thing. Right. Is that what it is right here? Wait, that is there. Probably not there in the production branch. That's probably the problem. All right. Right, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to check out this log, but basically I think what I'm going to say on this is, hey, let's not worry about this error yet. Let's get a batch of things through staging and tested. Let's the tough thing is refactoring efforts are most likely going to lead. They're going to fix bugs and they're going to lead to bugs. So we've already found bugs in this refactoring effort, things where the logic was wrong, things weren't named correctly, Yeah. All right. Let's see. So I need to look at both prod logs. What? There we go. So let me get that prod log here. Let me get this prod log. Sorry, I'm thinking in my head and then I'm saying only half of it out loud. That's the way of it sometimes. So we don't actually need two production servers because our app is really tiny. But I have two production servers set up because when you whenever you run only one instance of something, you're open to an entire class of errors. You need to always run two instances of anything that's going to go in production, even if you don't need two instances, because then you find all of the state management errors right up front. So our demo environments as well as our production environments run two instances because the development cycle is such that it's a little more difficult to have a good process for running two instances of something on localhost. We don't have that going right now, but we have it in the staging, the demo, the production. So anyway, but I have to check logs in two places because the error could end up being in either log, and we We don't have an aggregator installed yet. Okay, so let me see where this error is, if there is such an error. Let's see. I bet that this is just going to be some stupid thing if something's named wrong. And I say that because we tried to push something into prod that really isn't ready for prod. Just, tried to cherry pick. And I don't really want to do that. Okay, must okay. Bad response, invalid keys, invalid client ID or secret provided. So that doesn't quite make sense because it doesn't. All right, so I don't see anything special here. I think this might be a misconfiguration. I could be wrong. Oh, we got more errors is not defined stuff. Yeah, I'm wondering if the errors is not defined is only going to be on the one instance. I'm going to check that out real quick. Errors is not defined. Okay, that's in multiple places. Yeah, that's all right. There's a couple of places where that could be. Okay, yeah, I don't want, but okay, that's good. That's good to know that's happened there. Let me go check in on staging, and I'm gonna see if we got that same error on staging real quick. I don't want to get too distracted from what I'm doing. And sorry that you're not able to see what I'm working on, but because of the nature of these logs, there's too much information in the logs presently. We're working on getting that backed down, but for right now, it is what it is, and so there's just too much junk. And there's I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about what shows up in the logs on production. It's not credit cards. Safe there. uh, let's see. Always fish. All right. Give me dim logs. Oh gosh, this is a big one. I guess I should have specified from the last couple days because it seems that I didn't realize staging's logs are enabled for a longer duration. I will have to check into that. Okay, there we go. Let's just try a shorter time frame, just the last few days. Oh gosh, this is taking forever. It's not what I was expecting. Hey, camera, focus. Focus, camera, focus. Oh, I think it locked in the focus and it doesn't want to change it. Okay, there we go. Is it coming back now? Okay, there it goes. I just needed to move a little bit. All right. Yeah, okay. Okay, that will confirmed not in staging, though it may be related to things we're not testing in staging. Okay, so I can reproduce the error. I'm not really sure. Okay. So as far as I'm aware, it gave me the same client ID but a different secret. So when I checked what the client ID is, to me it looked the same. So what I might be mistaken about, this one thing, again, I'm sorry, I can't show you. In fact, I don't even know if I can log in from this computer. Let me see. At least it's more difficult for me to log in from this computer. Okay, so let's go back to, yeah, I'm gonna need to do, all right, I gotta mute for a second while I type in a password. Yes, it was that long of a password. Okay, here we go. Let's try this one. All right, so I'm logging in. And so basically, there's a service we're using where we have a different client secret between, or API secret, whatever you want to call it, between different environments. But as far as I could tell, it was the same client ID. So I'm just going to double check here. Client IDs. Okay. Yeah, that one looks right. Right. And this looks the same to me. Yeah, I see the same client ID. And then I'm just going to double check here. You know, I could have missed a letter or something. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, what the letter L? How come half the time my copy button isn't working? You know what used to work really well back in the 90s? Copy and paste. It used to work amazingly well. And then phones came along and they said, you know what? Rather than make it easy to copy and paste on a phone, let's just break it. What's up, Honene?
So I told Adeline multiple times that she needs to get dressed, otherwise we're gonna go without her. She hasn't gotten dressed. Can I leave her at home? I closed our door. Just
Yeah, that's what you told her. That's what we got to do. All right, so I don't know why we're getting this invalid client ID and secret. My guess would be, okay, live credentials, manage keys. Let's see here. Development. Client ID is the same. Okay, request production access. Learn more. Here, I'll at least put something interesting on the screen. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Live credentials. Okay. It's got a checkbox by it. I just hate the way that everything. I just hate everything. I just hate it all. You and 3 others have access. So it says it says you need to set the live credentials. That's what it says. You have okay, let me read this more clearly. Live credentials, 100 remaining, 0 used. You have a maximum of 100 live credential sets to use in the development environment. How do I generate them? How do I generate the credential sets? I can click Manage Keys, which just takes me to a different variation of the same page. And on the left-hand side, I guess I could probably show you this. There's nothing sensitive on this here. So, yeah. So here we've got this. On the left-hand side, it says live credentials. But I have no ability to see what they are or how to set them. I don't have any test credentials. That's weird. How do I have live credentials but not test credentials? And it gives me one client ID, and if I click on Manage Keys over on the other side of the window, then it takes me to a dashboard that just shows me both the development and the sandbox keys. So there's that. All right, so that just really isn't useful. Let's see, I've got members, I've got integrations, I've got API, I've got configure redirects. Let's see. Okay, we've got this, the correct redirects are in place. I can see them. Okay. Bless me. All right, so I'm barking up the wrong tree over there. So let me stop barking on this tree. I've confirmed as best as I can confirm. I tried to look at the credential sets. character by character, I cannot tell a difference between the two credential sets. So there's the bad request, invalid API keys. And then we should have that stripped out. Would be interesting to know what they are. So I think I'm just going to log the first couple characters of each. Whoops, let me get that out of the way. So this is what I'm going to do to solve this problem. I can bring this over here. So, whoops. Here's a fairly safe way to do this, right? So in theory, we should have. Let me make sure that the names are correct. That I didn't accidentally. Okay. Client ID secret. Yes, that is correct. All right, good. So I did spell it correctly. I spelled it the same way in both places. So what we could do with this, that I'm going to go put this over in production. P.secret. Is that everywhere it's used? That's it. That's everywhere it's used. Client ID. That's it. So it's just on this request object right here. Now, let me see if there's anything more specific in that error message about, I mean, we've tried this already in another environment. So it stands to reason that if it's working there, it should work here. Okay. Invalid input. Request ID action null. Yeah, I got nothing good here. Invalid input errors. Invalid API keys. Alrighty. Yeah. Stay the course. Stay the course. Oh. Okay. Bum 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 bum. Oh, sorry. Okay, now let me get back over here. I was looking over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to console.log just as a sanity check here because something could be going wrong somewhere. I'm just going to console.log and we're going to do p.clientid.slice and then I'm going to do the first two and then client ID. Actually, we can do the whole client ID. That's not a problem. I don't mind putting that in the logs. But we're also going to put the secret, and we're going to do dot slice 0 to 2, and then -2 forward. I think that's the right approach. Let me just double check on that real quick. So ABCDEFGHI dot slice -2 should give me the last two characters. Yep, there we are. So that's what I want to do. Just to do a sanity check that the right values are getting to the right place. I'm also going to check. Yeah, I don't see anything else I could be. I'm also going to do that same check right here. Make sure it's not possible that that has been initialized to something wrong, because I think that could be the case too. So do we have something where this initializes? I thought I had an init function of some sort, and I should, because having globals is generally a bad idea. I put this in here as a quick how you doing, but that's not the way that it should be. We should have a way to init or create this without relying on global variables, because those always come back to bite you in the butt. They never don't come back to bite you in the butt. That's what I'm saying. So we're going to put, yeah, doot, doot, doot. I'm just going to plop this over to production real quick. Don't tell my friends. I don't. Yeah. All right. Okay. Everything looks right to me. It's logging the right things. So I don't know what to say. I think we've got the right version. If things are working, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what these credential sets are. But yeah. I was thinking, okay, well, maybe it's just a fluke that's happening only in production that we could figure out, but I just don't know how to debug this. And production is not the same as staging right now because they're out of sync. And so I really don't want to go down this rabbit hole too far because I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of good that comes out of it. Because I think once we get staging pushed to production, these errors will go away. Well, different errors, but hopefully errors that are easier to track down. Boop, boop, boop. All right. Well, that looks good to me. So I'm going to go back to this. What? Oh, whatever. I'm not going to deal with that right now. Okay. Let's see. I'm just pasting some error logs over here to el coworker. What? Ah, yes. There we go. Because basically the thing's working as much as it can work. It's not working because something's wrong, but I don't know how to solve that. I think we just should get. It's just really hard to hotfix code in production. That's the thing. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. I'm AJ. Love to know if you have any questions or comments or whatever. So I'm just talking about errors that are in some code right now. Why will the phone not focus? Normally I use the camera right here, but because of the desk different, I'm kind of using the phone today, and the phone doesn't autofocus well at all. Come on, phone. Come on. Ah, it's all fuzzy. Anyway. Okay, so it's really frustrating to try to hotfix things in production because oftentimes they're already fixed elsewhere, and as you're trying to cherry pick things, you just end up with weird problems. And so, oh well, this is working in staging, but it's not working in production. Let's fix production. No. Let's get staging pushed to production. Because if it's working in staging and it's not working in production, then we're gonna have two problems. Because maybe we fix it in production, but then whatever change we make has some side effect. Okay, let it go. Sorry, just responding. Okay. All right, I think I'm just about done with this stream because I did some of the stuff that I can do. I've got some stuff in staging. It needs to be tested. I've got a meeting upcoming. Let me see. When is that meeting supposed to be? I'm terrible about remembering when meetings are supposed to be. Okay, yeah, I got a meeting come up at 4:30. So I need to be on. Okay. Pum 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 pum. Well, we had the refreshing drink. I just pretty much drank it all. It's not even fizzy anymore. Don't worry, there'll be another one tonight. Okay, let me think about this. What have I got? Of the several different things that are wrong. Okay. Everything looks right. Logs show the same stuff that's in the dev portal. Same ID and secret. Always avoid words like stuff. That's a communication smell. Logs show the same ID and secret that's in the dev portal. Same URLs are being used. I think we just need to get staging into prod rather than monkey patching. All right. And it's definitely a brand of mine. It's one of my favorite brands. Mountain Dew. So there's a few brands out there that kind of stand apart. Mountain Dew is one of them because Mountain Dew is its own soft drink line. It's not Pepsi. Mountain Dew's brand is not Pepsi's brand because you got Mountain Dew Baja Blast in collaboration with Taco Bell. You've got Mountain Dew Red for BMX biking or something. You got Mountain Dew Jolt. You got Mountain Dew Monster Hunter. I don't know. Mountain Dew is an interesting brand because it's fallen far from the tree in terms of its heritage. Mellow Yellow is also one in that vein because you hardly ever see Mellow Yellow. You don't think of it as a Coke product, though I think it is a Coke product, and it's just not as good as Mountain Dew. Everybody knows it. All right, what else we got? Okay. Where? Okay, so where is he trying for this? All right, so I'm asking somebody to go try what they were trying so I can see if it shows up in the logs. By the way, Geek Hunger, welcome back. I mean, I think I've seen you once before. I've seen you. But it's been a while, or I don't know. There's a lot of people that join the channel here and there, and so I forget who's who and what's what and all that. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Okay. Oh, dang it. That's kind of annoying. All right, like to join your live sessions from time to time. They're enjoyable and sometimes see tools I don't know about yet, like MJML from a couple videos ago. Man, that was like 50 videos ago, and I'm not even joking on that one. Gosh. But yeah, good. I'm glad. Yeah, I try to pick the best tools. I do. Um, okay, let me go test something real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sign off in just a second. It's getting boring anyway. I'm just doing some administrivia stuff over here right now. I don't have anything else to do before I go talk with people. Yeah. Oh, indeed. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna sign off. I need to go get a drink or something and think for a bit, and then I got a meeting. So I'm gonna sign off. Thanks for joining in. Thumbs up if you got them. Thumbs down if you don't. Sub and follow if you want to. Share with someone you like if you liked it. Share with someone you don't like if you don't like it. And if you didn't catch it, go all the way back to the beginning of the stream because I did something funny. I don't remember what it was, but I think no, I didn't. I didn't mark it, but I did. It'll come out as a clip. Fingers crossed. All right. Have a good one. Adios.